Hello, and welcome back to Pillars of Eternity. Of course there's another fight. Of course there's another fight with two of them. Cannonballs. Some are here. Durance. Heal this idiot. Okay. Let me be clear, Zawa deserved to be knocked out. The idiot went straight into the cannon fire.
There's no escaping these things.
We just killed a bunch of them. I don't believe it will be a lot of wars
Lead the way.
inside. So yeah, lead the way. I think it will be wiser to sleep. Columns of water rise up from the pool in front of you, shifting and waving, whipping air around them in a vortex. This can only be Undra's hair, appearing before you at a fraction of the size typically reported by Marines unfortunate enough to encounter them on the high seas.
You have done well to have come so far. I confess I was not certain you would make it, but I do not wish to give false hope. The greater challenge remains in front of you.
The Eyeless have to be stopped, for the good of the Terwood.
Running through the core of this rock is a large growth of crystal. You will know it when you see it. A blow to the crystal would reverberate through the walls of this place. Strike it enough and the entire structure would crumble. The Eyeless would be buried. Of course, it would take a person years to cause enough damage.
But not with the help of the Eyeless.
Then you know what must be done. Strike the crystal with Obidon's hammer. The Eyeless will wake and come to its call. Join in striking the crystal. They will cluster together and bury themselves. I have realized it is best that they should be ended, for within each of them is a small piece of Obidon himself. Upon their deaths, those fragments and the memories they contain will be safely dispersed. I had not considered the dangers of allowing them to persist, until a watcher appeared at my abbey.
What aren't you telling me?
A single strike upon the crystal will not be enough. The Eyeless respond only as long as the hammer rings. You will need to remain until their work is complete, wielding the hammer until the walls come crumbling down.
You mean for me to die here?
Your sacrifice will be mourned, but your fate is already sealed. The Eyeless cannot be reasoned with or fled from. One day not far from now, they would kill you and level the Deerwood. You have seen what they will do. This is the way you can stop them. And the truth is that you are marked by the Eyeless for a reason. It would be better for all if the things you have seen were forgotten.
A great sacrifice for a greater good.
A clean slate for us and the world. Maybe that's not such a bad thing.
The watery columns drop all at once back into the pool, sending up a small splash. The pool settles, and looking down into it, you see only the faces of you and your companions, alone and condemned.
I'll see what's ahead.
I actually want to try sneaking as much as we can. You can actually see silhouettes of the eyeless in the background. Are you gonna move? I don't think so. I just hope this one would not get... that it would not get... Oh, I cannot summon them here, it seems. Durance. God damn it. Well, at least I managed to summon some of them. Do you really don't have anything to revive? I was sure you had. Maybe not. But summon something, just... Hey, that's killed.
Zah was enjoying himself.
Come on, let's go over there. Oh. I think he can only do each spell quite so often.
That didn't work. Need to try something else.
Use Spirit Shield on yourself.
Just like old times.
What do you have in your backpack?
This one repels my touch.
Damn it.
This is getting nowhere.
Disintegration? Okay, that worked. Okay, it's just a gun.
Sure thing.
Heal yourself. Kill yourself, and you also heal yourself.
Tell me.
And here, yes, you can also heal yourself. Oh, I want to recover more health. Great.
Lead the way.
Actually, I think we're gonna rest here after all. Just to be on the safe page. Judging by claw marks and scales around the edges of this pool, you believe it is regularly used by Lagofeth. You see something shimmering in the depths of the frigid, murky water. Zawa dives in and immediately feels the cold bite of the water. The water is cool, but a person of a weak constitution will suffer greatly if submerged for more than a few moments. Zawa shrugs off the intense cold and dives toward the light glinting in the murky depths of the ice cave. Zawa quickly recovers a cache of Lagofeth treasures, including a variety of coins and a set of surprisingly well-preserved plate grids. Unfortunately, the disturbance of the horde was observed by a pack of Lagofeth that are swarming over to investigate. Hiding from the Lagofeth would be difficult, but attempting to outswim them would require phenomenal athletic ability. Zawa launches off of the bottom of the ice cave and begins to swim toward the surface. Unfortunately, outswimming a band of determined Lagofeth is difficult even under the best of circumstances. One of Zawa's legs is horribly mangled in the process of escaping from the pool. Moments later, furious Lagofeth erupt from the pool. Oh, yes, twisted ankle and wrenched knee. Okay, stop casting. Thank you. Is it me using evidence camera on them, waking them all up? Thinking about it logically, if this hammer is supposed to wake them up, then me using them in a fight would wake them, wouldn't it?
The crystal calls to us. You can hear it singing our ends.
A bridge overlooks a broad chamber half flooded with lake water. You could crawl down this way, but it looks too steep and slick to climb back up. Of course there's a kraken.
Look at all.
Wait, someone leveled up, I have no idea who.
Arthur were the rocks. Explore. On it.
Stand together!
No, I cannot. Okay, we must kill Kraken.
Nothing I can...
Moed Pixie Anna.
Of course it will call them. Heal yourself. Of course it's Zawa there. Come on, where is the priest? Revive him now. Heal yourself.
I'm here.
That didn't work. Need to try something else.
The rains do this.
Tell me.
That was it? Sorry if I sound surprised, but that was it?
Tell me.
An enormous crystal juts from the wall like a spearhead protruding from a wound. An army of reflections stares back at you from the crystal's perfect facets. It echoes the sound of your footsteps in soft, ringing hums. Someone will have to take up Abaddon's hammer and strike the crystal, and Ondra warned that whoever does so will be buried in this place with the eyeless. Whom do you choose? Step back for now. I guess we'll be drawing lots. You gather a handful of pebbles, several grey and one white, and distribute them at random. Everyone opens their hands to see who has drawn the white pebble. It rests in Zawa's palm. Zawa looks from the pebble to you.
I did not think I would be given another chance to protect my people. I am honored to do this for you.
Zawa hefts the hammer and swings it at the crystal. A perfect, clear tone rings through the air and resonates through your teeth. Seconds later, ripples shiver through the water. Something big is coming. Zawa lifts the hammer again and gives you a final nod. You scramble out of the flooded cavern and flee through the tunnels. Zawa continues hammering at the crystal, each strike magnifying the last. The echoes build into physical tremors. Meanwhile, the heavier rhythm pulses through the cave. Footsteps, dozens of them. You round a corner only to see a line of eyeless advancing. The creatures stagger to the rhythm of the hammer thuds below, yet they crane their necks towards you, ratcheting back their piston arms. Cast mirror image. Consider who will cast it. Durance. Durance's likeness appear along the tunnel. The eyeless roar and lunge fruitlessly at the images. You sprint past the distracted monsters. Fortunately, the creatures are too focused on the hammering to give chase. They continue toward the cavern. Zawa maintains a steady tempo on the crystal. Eyeless gather in the cavern, where they batter the walls in time with the hammer's rhythmic blows. The ground shakes, falling rocks and shattering crystals splash to the ground. You flee through dark, rumbling corridors. More spellbound eyeless shamble along, but they're too entranced by the swelling cadence to take more than an idle swipe at you. The tunnel narrows, light filters through ahead. The exit must be around the next bend, but it's cloaked with rubble. Meanwhile, the ground drops several feet at once, and the tunnel begins rolling on its axis. The distant sound of rushing water echoes from the cavern. Level the rubble with prybar. There must be a weak spot, but it will take a practiced eye to find it. Who will clear the way? Aye, you notice a lost boulder and wedge the prybar beneath it. A gentle nudge knocks it loose and sends the rubble rolling away. The moon shudders again. You escape onto the ice just as another thunderous crash sounds from below. Eyelets continue pouring into the cavern from every visible tunnel and crevice. Zawa's ears ring at the ever-growing cacophony of smashing rock and shattering crystal. Meanwhile, the water level is rising. A skull-splitting crack rends the air, and a surge of water knocks Zawa from his feet. The entire cavern rotates, plunging Zawa into the freezing soup of jagged metal, torn flesh, and stone. You dash across the lake. The ice squeals and crackles, rocking dangerously underfoot. The sinking moon groans. Long fissures race across the ice. Scout for more stable place. The surface of the ice is riddled with cracks. Only someone who knows what to look for can find safe passage. Mania? Mania leads the way across the ice. All seems well until the party is halfway to shore. The ice breaks without warning, dumping you into a freezing lake. You climb out, numb and trembling. At last, you reach the safety of the shore. In the middle of the lake, only the tip of the moon is visible above the ice. You watch in silence as it sinks into the depths. The world seems to be falling apart in slow motion. Zawa sinks into the lake alongside the dark shapes of moon fragments and crashed eyelets. Zawa's lungs burn, sparks flicker across Zawa's vision. Not sparks, scales. Lagufev gather in front of Zawa, who notices something unusual in their iridescent eyes, a flicker of uncommon intelligence. Zawa hears a whisper. You freed us from a prison in Durgan's battery. Consider our debt repaid. The Lagufev possessed by the spirits of Maroon and the other pair groan and swarm and rush Zawa to the surface. At last, Zawa reaches the shallows. Zawa punches through a thin crust of ice and crawls ashore, trembling but alive. You stand at the edge of the lake. The bobbing of the ice and the rippling of the water surface slows until you are looking at the moment frozen in time. When the world begins moving once more, it moves in reverse. The surface of the water churns and roils like it's about to spew something up, and it does. The fragment of Ioni breath rises, unbroken. Ice will form across the surface of the lake, spreading in long, freezing fingers. Eyelets file out of the moon fragment and onto the ice. They wind around the moon in ever-widening spiral. They stop as the head of their line reaches you. They speak in a single voice that resonates with grinding metal and hissing steam.
We shatter and sink, discarded like worn tools. Why have you consigned us to oblivion?
You would have destroyed Ked Nua, Durgan's battery, and more. Their protest is as sharp as squealing metal.
Blasphemy! These are jewels of civilization. They are sacred. We would sooner sacrifice our own bodies than dislodge a single stone from such a place. Why do you torment us with baseless accusations?
Ondra changed you from a preserver to a destroyer. The eyes are still, but you hear their tears mirror as their collective spirit ponders this.
Then we were betrayed.
That depends on how you look at it.
A part of ourselves was cut away. And we were made to betray something we cherish.
You feel their bitter agony like a hammer strike. The legacy of Ingwithians, you mean?
The bedrock of civilization.
Suddenly, they attack the ice beneath them, slicing and shattering it with mighty swings from their iron arms. And where the ice breaks, ancient towers rise, blotting out the blue sky and white peaks. Ondra wanted Engwithian civilization forgotten.
Better for her tides to ebb and her seas to dry up than to cover a single stone the Engwithians laid.
The ice shakes with the fury of the eyeless.
Each culture builds on the bones of the last. Yet many only look up at where they would go, never down at the foundations that bear them. Like a mason who builds a listing tower.
The remaining ice sheet cracks and groans.
What peril do they inflict on their progeny? And what dishonor on their forebears?
You hear the strain of crumbling stone in the voice of the eyeless. You think it unwise to forget the past.
It is unwise to douse a lamp in darkness, to cut the legs from a table. This forgetting is suicide, heresy. Every advance in the crafts and institutions of Kith was forged by skill and sacrifice.
You feel these words and the anger behind them in your bones.
A people cut off from their history will wither, and they deserve no less.
Then what do you suggest?
To pull the blinders from the eyes of gods and Kith. That is why we must return to ourself and restore Abidan.
What do you mean about returning to yourself?
When Ione Brotha fell, Abidan lost much. His will to preserve, the memory of how and why he died. But he built us with fragments of his own soul. In returning, we can restore what was taken from him.
You speak as if history were a guide, yet it doesn't always provide a good example.
Then do not look to it for one. History is not a moral force, but a set of facts. These facts show Kith where they have come from, and how to move forward.
The Darudians and Glanthadans have fought 2 wars over their history, and they still haven't moved forward.
But the memory of those wars has likely saved them from another now, when it would shatter a barren Deerwood.
That's not saying much. Better if the 2 nations could form a stronger accord.
And how are such ties forged but through years of peace? You speak of a worthy goal, but only a steadily built history can achieve it.
Stalwart and the Iron Flail remained at odds, even in the face of a bigger threat, all because of their history.
The problem is not that they remember too much of their history, but rather too little.
The ice underfoot becomes suddenly clear. Between your boots you see an ocean separating Adir and the Eastern Reach.
Right, Serens and Deerwoodans alike began as pioneers from Adir. They all came seeking opportunity.
Boats as small as ants crawl across the glassy blue.
Were they to look farther back, they would see their common origins and desires.
The ice dulls and thickens once more. But the experience of history is subjective. People remember what feels immediate and personal, just as you remember your own betrayal.
A painful truth.
They pause, recalling their suffering. You feel it radiate from them like heat.
Maybe so. But we would not cast history aside over one such example.
The Parkrunan were obsessed with their past. They died in the keep they would build to honor it.
And their brethren have built a culture that stretches across Eora. All because they recognize the importance of their shared legacy.
Yet the Parkrunan of Durgan's battery might have built more if they had surrendered this obsession of legacy and moved east.
To what exactly? A war with the peoples there? A deadly blight or crippling disease? The future you would have given them is uncertain. Yet it would have bequeathed Kith nothing so great as Durgan's steel.
I said my piece.
And we have listened.
Memory remains a burden, even when the events and people would recall are long gone. Its pain with no purpose.
Burdens strengthen the bearer, and they warn against repeated mistakes. Why would you discard them so hastily?
I am awakened. I am tormented by questions from a past life.
A rare opportunity, for you have the chance to answer them, to do things left undone.
The creatures raise their misshapen arms, and the voice of their souls is as deep and melodious as bell. But sometimes moving on is the way to move forward. Remaining stuck in the past is not progress.
That presumes that some questions cannot be resolved.
The souls ponder this.
Yet such destructive memories are rare. Surely others are strengthened by retrospection, even amidst pain.
Mania shouldn't have to suffer guilt over an act she committed in a past life.
Pleasing or no, that memory was a part of her. In surrendering it, she lost a part of herself.
The part that spent every waking hour obsessed with old history, perhaps. What I lost was a burden, and one that bent me over for years.
It would be better if Kith did not become trapped by guilt, sorrow, and shame. But we speak of what should be. You recognize what is. We confess that we had little understood how memory shapes and stunts Kith. Even so, we must restore Abidan.
Perhaps Abaddon was meant to forget his past. Some knowledge is too dangerous for this world. Something grinds and rumbles from the chest of the eyeless. It's laughter.
A facile argument. One that defends stasis, not progress.
Animacy has made no progress, yet it's responsible for Richt's and Belridge incident, and the swindle of desperate families.
And yet you persuaded the Duke to allow Animancy to continue unfettered.
Crap.
Do not condemn knowledge when it becomes inconvenient for you.
Andra said its Abaddon's memory would threaten the peace between the gods.
Just as fire clears dead wood from a forest, struggle makes way for new developments.
Flame rolls across the ice as it dies away. Clumps of ice melt. The towers rise higher.
Conflict is part of progress. Peace and ignorance is not worth keeping, and we have listened.
Very well. Return to yourself and be the god of preservation once more.
We shall see this world and its people restored.
A great wind shoves at your back. Your ears pop and you feel for a moment as if all of the air is being sucked from the sky. Suddenly it ends, and you are standing in the snow, looking over Kieran's scar.
The eyeless disappeared beneath the lake, their bond to Andra finally severed. With this threat ended, hope returned to the White March. Hunters returned to the wildernesses, and travelers to the roads. Tales of the Watcher's bravery replaced stories of monsters in the woods. The villagers of Stalwart busied their hands with work and their tongues with song, eager to seize on the promise of peace.
I wonder how does it look like now? It looks like there's still the ice. Don't tell me they didn't update this map. What do we have here? Nothing. And as much as I'm grateful that Zawa is still alive, it is a little bit too much of an armor plot, I believe. I mean, we were all ready for the sacrifice, and in the end it was meaningless. It didn't matter who it was. The Fury? Oh, sure.
I'm here.
Okay, we cannot go over there, so it is under the ice, under the water, I think. What the hell? I just wondered if it's... no? I mean, I can click here, I can click here, so... Okay,
Sure
you guys
thing.
definitely don't want to go over there, I get it. We go back to the stalwart. You know, we may get be cursed by Ultra after this. Oh, we can go directly to the foundry now. That's great. Now, wait. There was something. The White March is done. There's that. Karen will be waiting at the Crafts Rest in Stalwart. And here, right? Yep. I never meant for any of this to happen. I found the Bleak Walkers. You did? What happened? I dealt with the Bleak Walkers. Hadi and Evna were killed, but Eska is alive. Gods, Hadi. But Eska lives. You saved him. Then for that, I owe you everything. I can't ever make any of it right, but I'll try. Here, take this. And thank you for sparing me a final stain upon my soul. You're welcome. Is there anyone else? Nesta? I thought I ordered ale. She may have brought me a dishwater by accident. Or maybe on purpose. You can never tell. What brings you to Stalwart? I represent a group of investors from Defiance Bay who are attempting to establish a trade agreement with Stalwart. Before they are willing to commit to any agreement, they want to have the town assessed, make sure it's as prosperous as people are claiming. That's where I come in. What's your assessment of the town? There's certainly a lot of coin changing hands, but whether this is simply a short-lived boom or something that will persist long-term remains to be seen. Great. And we got another quest here. Superstitious folk near roads and have been acting on a rumor that the heir of a dead virgin that was bound and buried alive can cure a hollowborn. Not only has it resulted in horrific attacks against young women, but unscrupulous merchants have taken to selling bits of hair to those who don't have the stomach to perform the act themselves. Rose End's local Thanes have assigned agents to root out the problem, but they've had little success. The devil. The death card. Okay, and I'll end this part here, so for now, thank you very much. Stay alive and see you soon. Bye.